Hello everybody and welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi. I'm Mia Tiffany and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today we are back on the case with Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. Now, before we jump into our case for the day, I would like to shout out my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in exclusive MWM content, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. And today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. And these days, it seems like the world is getting darker and scarier, and that can feel especially overwhelming without someone to talk to. Negative intrusive thoughts can feel like a weight holding you down, and sometimes it feels like you're stuck. Believe me, I understand. But luckily, there are people like the experienced therapists at BetterHelp to help you out of those dark places. BetterHelp is an online therapy service that is tailored to your specific needs and ready to assist you via video, phone, or even live chat. So if you feel more comfortable off camera, BetterHelp provides you with those alternative options. And not to mention the broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that might not be available in your area. It's super simple to get started. Simply fill out the questionnaire, then get matched with a therapist, in most cases, just under 48 hours. BetterHelp also allows you to exchange unlimited messages between you and your therapist. In my own experience, I found the questionnaire to be so helpful in accommodating my specific needs. This helped me feel more comfortable speaking to a therapist on specific issues that I had, knowing that they had similar experiences and perspectives in that specific area of need. So, if you would like to join the 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist, then I encourage you to do so by clicking on the link down below, www.betterhelp, that's BetterHelp.com/Mia Tiffany for 10% off of your first month. The world may feel very scary right now, but seeking therapy doesn't have to feel that way. Try BetterHelp today. Today, we are watching the second episode of the Granada television series, The Return of Sherlock Holmes, titled The Priory School. But before we jump into it, I would like to get to know our new Dr. Watson, Edward Hardwicke. Edward Hardwicke was a child of the showbiz industry, as both his mother and father, Sir Cedric Hardwicke and Helena Pickard, were distinguished actors. He began his career at the young age of 10 in Hollywood, but he would later return to England to study at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, or RADA, where he trained as an actor. Before he attended RADA, he actually served as a pilot in the Royal Air Force, which I thought was kind of cool to add in. In 1964, Hardwicke joined Laurence Olivier's National Theatre, where he appeared in several plays, including William Shakespeare's Othello and Arthur Miller's The Crucible. And in 1968, Hardwicke played the small role of Davenport in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, which starred Peter Cushing as Sherlock Holmes, in the episode The Greek Interpreter. And it was actually David Burke who recommended Hardwicke to be his successor to the producers of this show. Hardwicke would go on to play Dr. Watson for the remainder of the show's life. Now, with that being said, this is my first time watching The Priory School, and I'm very excited to jump in. But before we do, guys, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification to stay in the loop. All right, everyone, it is time to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get in to The Priory School. Oh my, you okay, buddy? Definitely most insistent. Did he just pass out? He's like, very peculiar. He looks like really concerned about something. Like something is really troubling him.
Easy now, easy.
Thank you.
Please forgive this weakness, Mr. Holmes.
He looks so intrigued.
Principal of the Priory School. It is not every day, Dr. Huxtable, that so distinguished a castaway as yourself is beached upon my hearthrug.
Please, sit down.
Sit down and tell us what's troubling you.
The state of your beard demonstrates a considerable disruption to your routine. 3 days ago?
Just so.
He's like, yeah, exactly.
I beg you to accompany me north to Mackleton immediately.
Dr. Watson tells me that he's run off his feet by this recent epidemic of scarlet fever.
He's like, is he telling the truth? I don't know.
I dare say you've heard of the Duke of Holderness.
Ha! One of the greatest subjects of the crown.
Oh, he's a high-profile person.
Holderness Hall, his country seat, is across the valley from the Priory School. Duke is an intensely solitary man.
Is that his estate? It's beautiful. Wow. Very elegant.
Abhors the prospect of public scrutiny. His Grace is prepared to write a cheque for £5,000 to see the business solved.
So he's willing to give some money for whatever the situation is.
Lord Salter, the Duke's son, his only child, has been abducted.
Oh, this is an abduction case. Ransom?
When he was in your care.
Quite.
That's why he's freaking out, man. It's all on you, buddy.
This affair has been deplorably handled. What form did the demand for ransom take?
There has been none. Herr Heidegger, the German master, is also missing.
Well, that's kind of scandalous. No demand for ransom. Huh. So why abduct him?
Dr. Huxtable, do you really mean to suggest, in the dead of night, that this German master rode off upon his bicycle, bearing the boy in his arms?
He may have hidden it somewhere, and the pair gone off on foot.
This just got way more intriguing. That the German instructor would take the boy. Like, why? And not for money? Like, maybe political reasons?
He was not entirely happy. The Duke's marriage had not been a peaceful one. The Duchess has returned to her father's palazzo in Venice.
This is rather intriguing so far. I wonder if the German instructor took him, it has something to do with like the family life, like the marriage, I don't know. Or something political, I don't know.
On the night of the disappearance, did you hear anything then?
We couldn't even hear the crying. He sometimes cries, sir. Sometimes, sir.
That's really sad. The broken family dynamic must really affect him. He's only 9 too, which is really sad. It's the royal seal.
Grace? Mr. Wilder?
I called yesterday, Dr. Huxtable. His Grace is surprised that you should have invited Mr. Holmes to undertake an investigation. You are well aware how anxious His Grace is to avoid all public scandal.
What if the headmaster is behind this? You know, like for some devious plan. But what would be the reason if it's not for money?
Mr. Sherlock Holmes can return to London by the morning train.
Oh, hardly that. I shall spend, at any rate, a few days upon your moors.
This is not a trivial matter, Mr. Holmes.
Oh my god, the Duke is speaking directly to him. That's gotta mean something.
Your only child has disappeared. I ask your Grace, what is modesty to this?
I have a morbid fear of the public gaze.
He wants to keep everything quiet. Wants to keep this close-knit.
You're a cyclist, I believe. You wouldn't happen to know the make of tires on Herr Heidegger's bicycle.
Tires were Palmer, you know, the ones with longitudinal tread.
I know them well.
I love that Sherlock just knows a bunch of information that just happens to become useful in his cases. I think it was the Red-Headed League when he was talking about making a pamphlet on different like tattoo styles. Like that's so random, but it just goes to show his intellect and what he kind of does in his free time, kind of opening us, the audience, up to his, you know, the inner workings of his mind and what he does when he's not on a case. He just researches random things, I guess. I don't know, but I just love that kind of comes up when he needs it in his cases. I think it's fantastic.
What did you discover at Oakbourne?
The police had reports from all over the place.
What result?
Useless. None bore the slightest resemblance to the boy or the German master.
So they're all dead ends leading nowhere.
I don't believe they used the road. No, it is to the north that our quest must lie. You have done well, Watson.
What if it wasn't Herr Heidegger that took him? What if it was someone else? He's just being framed for it.
Herr Heidegger retired to his room soon after 11 o'clock. Now my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson, will impersonate.
Oh, we're doing a reenactment. I love it.
Heidegger has still 2 hours' work ahead of him. He moves across to the chest by the door and pours himself a glass of sherry.
I love that we are with him in the camera movement.
And moves to his desk to correct 22 exercise books. When his candle fails him, he cannot see to find them. So he turns to the window to draw the curtains to see better.
Oh, there he is, really him. Oh, wow.
The boy has been waiting for darkness. His flight must not be observed.
Oh, so he ran away, possibly.
As the boy hurries across the leads to keep his meeting by the river, Heidegger runs to the door, knocking over his glass of sherry. I believe his fate may be sealed, and I do fear for him.
So he went after the boy, but the boy was already trying to flee. It wasn't like he stole him. Trying to make some meeting at the river, but what meeting?
So we're assuming the boy was taken away on horseback, are we not?
Certainly.
But the only tracks we found are cattle hooves.
A track, Watson! Certainly a bicycle, but not the bicycle. This is a Dunlop.
Oh, so it's a different bicycle. So there was a second person out there.
These are Palmer tracks.
Dunlop tracks, they vanish. And Palmer tracks leading to these rocks, they vanish too.
Watson, you have a blazing talent for observing the obvious.
He's like, no shit, Sherlock.
There's a hostelry marked on the further edge of the moor. If we keep on this line, we should come up to it. I'm hungry.
I do love how easily Edward Hardwicke blends so well into Dr. Watson that you forget that he wasn't Dr. Watson in the first series or season. It was a seamless transition.
Mr. Reuben Hayes, we were looking for some refreshment and would be obliged if you could furnish it. Would you?
We would. Isn't this your hostel?
My word, Mr. Hayes, you have injured yourself. You should have it attended. How did you come by it?
One of my dogs did it.
I don't trust him. Why are they so, like, shady? Are they hiding something? Because I get that sense that these innkeepers are hiding something.
Well, to judge at a glance, they were that far apart.
Maybe a human
The
child?
descendant of what law is there in such places as these?
I even gave him a gray horse. I can't even make this up. It's his staple. It's his look, the gray and black combo.
Old shoes, new nails.
Old shoes, new nails. Were they trying to hide something? Somebody is hiding something, okay?
His Grace will see you now.
How does your investigation progress?
My belief is that the boy was tempted out of the school by a prearrangement. His mother may have been the bait. Track the passage of his bicycle across the moors. It was almost as if the tracks were deliberately expunged by someone.
I feel like this one has a bit of a dark feeling to it. A child abduction. People are hiding stuff.
You don't happen to know if the cattle on the moor...
They will not be out of the yard for at least another 2 weeks.
Oh my god, what is this new development? I'm so lost right now. I have no idea. Cattle?
Old shoes and new nails.
Oh, there's something you should see.
It is a remarkable car that trots, canters, and gallops.
I kind of liked the change in pace right there really quick, where it was really slow to realization when he's coming to this realization in the Duke's office to this now fast pace. We got to figure out what this old shoe, new nail situation is. I loved that pacing idea. Please don't tell me the child's dead. Oh, but somebody is dead.
German master.
It's the German master. That's a really gruesome way to go. I don't know how he died, but you know, his body at least was eaten by vultures.
Skin and blood.
A consistent night with a scratch on Hayes' neck. Cause of death.
Strangulation.
Oh, so he was murdered. Is that the child?
It's all over now, Arthur.
Was that the secretary? He has no shoes on. It's probably freezing.
A Dunlop with a patch on the outer cover.
It was the secretary that... What is going on? That's the woman.
I'm satisfied that you had no liking for this business and that you acted under coercion. Duke's secretary, Mr. Wilder.
Towards Chesterfield Road.
So was the secretary that created this whole ruse? Why did he give him to the innkeepers? Like, what is going on? I need some answers, okay? Why am I not getting this? I'm usually pretty good with these.
Come on. I'd be glad if you'd make me out a cheque for £6,000.
I do not see how James, Mr. Wilder, could possibly be implicated in this business.
Why do you doubt my word?
How dare you? You are a barbarian. Please leave me immediately.
I'm sorry, don't call our Sherlock Holmes a barbarian. You need to calm down, buddy. Chill out. Listen to what's going on around you.
When I was a very young man, I loved with such a love as comes only once in a lifetime. I offered marriage, but she refused it. She died and left this one child, James.
I think that scene kind of did tell us that he really does care for his son.
I could not acknowledge paternity to the world. For her sake, I have treated him like my son, tended and cared for.
The thing about this actor who's playing the Duke is his eyes were very off-putting. Like, there was something about his eyes that made me feel like either he wasn't telling the truth, something just felt off. And now, revealing that Wilder, his secretary, is actually his son, you really see what he's hiding behind his eyes, and he's doing such a fantastic job of that throughout the episode.
You must realize that he is lost to you. He's conspired to abduct Lord Salter. He must be found.
He has to give up one son for another. That's tough. But I want to hear Wilder's story. I don't think I understand why he abducted the son. I don't know if that needs to be more spelled out.
You are to employ the entire staff without exception. You are looking for my son, Lord Salter. If you find Mr. Wilder, please see that he is detained.
That's gotta hurt so bad.
Wilder substituted a note which deceived your son into believing that he was to see his mother.
I tracked them up onto the moor, but they disappeared. But it's as if the earth just swallowed them up.
Cathedral.
We have a whole search party. I'm feeling the search party, man. It makes it so much more intense when there's like this line of men just running towards the villain.
Mount your horse, screw your courage to the sticking place. We're counting on Gaston to lead the way.
There he is. How did he get up there and how is he gonna get down? Please tell me that this boy ends up safe.
Hey, Arthur! You shall not have him!
Oh, bro. There's no way he's alive.
I was disposed to love Francesca with a man's love. My marriage to her founded on James's jealousy.
What did he hope to achieve by kidnapping his brother?
He delighted in exercising power over me.
So this is a sort of like revenge type. Oh, he didn't want to believe it though.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
£12,000?
This is the king's ransom.
You have given me back my future.
You better take it, bro. You better not rip up that check. I'm not even lying. Oh, that was good. That was a good episode. It had a lot of dark elements too. So his son James wanted revenge because he was upset that the Duke did not claim him as a son and give him legitimacy and power. So he decided to take his second son, or the Duke's son and Wilder's brother, as a sort of way to hold lord power over the Duke in a sort of like revenge type thing. I think that's what happened. That's really deep. It's very deep, like deep family issues that they probably need to work out with one another. But yeah, that one was really good. I really loved a little bit more of the darker elements. The scene with the innkeepers, the whole thing just felt so shady and felt so dark. And I really loved that that was played out that way. And then also getting to see more of like, I think that was like northern England, the northern English countryside. I think, now I could be wrong, but I think that was really beautiful to see those exterior shots. Overall, I think that was a fantastic episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching it with me. Alright everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to become an official MWMer, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this episode's full reaction, you will find it on my Patreon. Patreon is also where I hold my bi-weekly MWM live watch parties, where every other Saturday night at 5 p.m. Arizona time, which is currently synced with Mountain Standard Time, we come together and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. So if that sounds of interest to you, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. In the next video with Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes, we are going to be watching episode 4, titled The Second Stain. Now, I have heard about this particular episode in the comments a lot in our Sherlock videos, so I'm very excited to watch it. If you have not watched or read The Second Stain, I highly encourage and recommend that you check it out before watching the reaction. And I have provided links of where I bought my physical copy of The Return of Sherlock Holmes down in the description box. If you have a recommendation for any classic Hollywood films, please reach out to me on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, or X, @MoviesWithMia, and on Instagram and TikTok, @MoviesWithMia_. If social media is not your jam, fear not, I do have an email. My email is miawilliams642@gmail.com. And while you're on social media or online in general, why not check out my Letterboxd account? There is where I have all of the shows and movies that we've seen on the channel, and it is under the handle @MammaMiaTiffany. Now, I should also let you guys know that if there are any changes to our schedule or if there are any short breaks that I take, I do tend to let you all know in my community tab on my homepage. So if you ever notice that, hey, you know, she's not posting, or like, where is she? Please check that community tab. Most likely it's probably something that came up in my schedule. So please check that out if you ever need to know what's going on in the channel. And with that is all I have for you guys today. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you so much. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you, boo, in the next video. Bye, everyone. But before we get into that, I would like to explore our new Dr. Watson, Edward Hardwicke. I was about to say Ethan Hawke. So Edward Hardwicke was a child of the showbiz industry. Edward Hardwicke was a child of the showbiz industry. industry, as his father, Sir Cedric Hardwicke, as both his mother and father, Sir Cedric Hardwicke. God, I can't talk today. I don't know why. That was a mouthful.